Hi, this is Nick Lowry and my good buddy Damon Corneely here at Windsong Dojo. I'm going to talk a little bit about Judo and the function of posture today. So, when you approach Judo as a art built around sensitivity and movement and efficient architecture, one of the preferences that arises is a preference for upright standard posture. The man has got his center of gravity suspended over the long structure of his body. This is uniquely powerful in certain respects, because if I'm trying to lift against Damon, say I'm just going to lift his arm up, and without a whole lot of extra isometric tension, he can be boss in this kind of posture. If I'm pushing down, I'm trying to drag his arm down, even without a whole lot of extra work that he has to do, the efficiency of working in the long dimensions of his body in this vertical way with upright posture mean that I can hang a significant amount of weight right there, or I can prop up with a significant amount of pressure, and it doesn't take him hardly anything to do it, and he can do the same back to me. He's pulling down against the long length of my body, and all I really feel different, go ahead, is I feel weight go into that foot with more pressure, but my knees are slightly bent, my spinal column is taking in the pressure that he's exerting in the downward force, and it's going right into my feet, so that if he lets go suddenly, my body is not bobbling. It doesn't have to recover. Again, if he's pushing up, and I get strong against it, we'll have this bridging action and he can push me over. If I don't get strong against it, I just relax in this downward direction. Even when he stops, it doesn't really do anything to me. Go ahead and try it again. Right. And in fact, if you keep the upright posture, he can be exerting pressure, and I can just kneel down in that same long dimension of my body, and he can be lifting, he can be pushing, but my own process of just going down to one knee is enough to give him unbearable problems without me exerting any overt pressure whatsoever. Upright standard posture like this, natural Shizen Hontai, is not what most people's preference in Judo these days is. Most people have adopted forms of Jigatai, or forms that are more akin to styles of wrestling, habits that come from different arts and different paradigms, where they're bent over. Now, if Damon is bent over a little bit, even just a little bit, come on out here. So we take the standard posture, and we just break it slightly. And he's out here delivering power, or basically, if I hang pressure on this, or if I hang pressure on it and then release it, he has compensatory reactions. If I'm lifting on this and then relax it, see his body react. If I'm pressing down on this and then relax it, his body pops up. So when the posture is broken, look at how much effect. I'll do one finger down, relax, and see his body pop up. I'll do one finger up, relax, and see his body pop down. That little extra bobble that his nervous system has to go through is the compensation for the failure to be in this vertical dimension. Because again, he's vertical, nothing. He's vertical, nothing. No big postural change has to occur. We take him slightly off, just one little tick off of vertical, and you see that bobble. He gets more off, like he's trying to play away from me. He's trying to keep his center of gravity way, way away from me. He's trying to both play Judo with me and avoid me at all costs. He's really hunkered down way back here. And man, you put a little pressure on this, relax, and see he has to take a step. Put a little pressure up, relax it. Pressure down, pop. See his body wobble? Same thing, up, down, boom. So, when they've taken themselves into a posture like this for you, in an effort to try to keep the center of gravity away, all the same stuff applies that applies when you're standing up. It's just we tend to get focused on getting down here and wrestling with them. Once we do that, we're basically negating our own postural superiority and playing into their game. Well, watch what happens. he's down and he's powerful and he's reactive. He doesn't want any of this to happen. If I just simply try to push down on him, he can bridge this. He can compensate for this. But what happens when I just bend my own knees, let my arms relax? Isn't that weird feeling? Mm-hmm. So he's down, he's reactive, he's Mr. Cool. And you say, man, he could be going for your leg. He can do all sorts of offensive things he could be doing. But rather than push down, I'm just going to bend my own knees and relax into it. And on we go. And it's like an inexorable force. He really doesn't ever feel anything come on him, but he can't do much about it. If he wants to do something about it, let's do it a little quicker. I go down, react, and he comes up. I say, wow, look at here. We're damn near into a Ippon Seoi here. Let's see if that's replicable. So again, what am I doing? I'm relaxing my arms, just touching, using those soft arms like we scratch our head with. I bend my knees. I relax this process. Up he comes. And standing still, you get this very nice Ippon Seoi. Not one of my favorite throws particularly, but it just happens to come. Now don't let me do that, okay? You know what's happening. My knees, relaxation. There we go. So, when you think about working against the man's nervous system, working against his reactivity and his own postural problems that he's creating by adopting this certain preference for being in the bent over posture, and you use that to be your operative mechanism, rather than he bends over, then I bend over, and then I go to town trying to fight through these arms and try to get under and all this struggle. There is no struggle if you refuse to struggle. Can you stop that? No. I didn't think so. And it's not that Damon's a nice guy. I mean, he's pretty nice, but you good? Yeah. We'll do it with one arm. Yeah. It's that the inefficiency of the way he's using his body is being called into play against an efficient mechanism. So this is great as long as we're both doing it, as long as we both live down there. But the moment one comes up, hey, I think I'll be up here. His body has to take that ride, has to take that rising action ride. So I hope this helps delineate not only the type of posture we like, knees slightly bent, spine aligned, hips tucked in slightly, working in the long dimensions of your body in as relaxed a way as possible, and using that sort of Shizen Hantai standard posture as a preference to the hunkered down, hunched over, defensive sort of mindset and posture that people have a strong habit for. That's probably useful in some part of the game somewhere, but I find it to be a self-limiting quality in terms of developing higher understanding in what we're about doing judo. So I hope this helps. Thank you.